Hello. Oofda. I made it. I survived. We're here. We're live. All right. I am a little bit sweaty. I don't know if you've ever noticed. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Do you see the unicorns? My tapestry behind me. Oh, let's see. There we go. It's a pair of unicorns. And it actually fell down on me the other day, and I wasn't able to get it back up until just about 10 minutes ago. I was able to tack it back up. Hopefully it won't fall down while we're doing this video. So forgive me if I'm a little out of breath. To get it up, back up on behind me, because otherwise you'd have to look at my really messy apartment. So I'm just gonna keep talking. I'm still setting up, so I'm just gonna keep on chatting while I'm plugging my phone in. And I was doing readings all day at Crescent Moon today. Met some amazing. I feel like, I don't know if you're out there, you're a reader too, if you've noticed the caliber of people coming in for readings recently. It's like just amazing things going on. It's so awesome to watch. And I tend to be on the optimistic side anyway, but watching, like, when I get to watch the people coming through and seeing the trends of people coming in looking for guidance and such, it really gives me a lot of hope for the future, because I get to see I get to be aware of a lot of the patterns happening under the surface. And so I don't know if you're a reader, I don't know if you've noticed the same things, but just amazing people. So, thank you. I haven't even introduced myself, and we're like 5 minutes in. I'm Patrick, and I will be your friendly neighborhood shaman for the evening, if not a little bit raggy at the edges, raggedy. I'm just finishing my dinner, a lovely, very delicious egg salad sandwich. So, what we're doing here today, what are we doing, you ask yourselves? We are going to do mini medicine card readings with the beautiful medicine cards. This is like, this is like the only deck I use. I have so many different decks. I actually know very little about the tarot, although because a lot of my friends and peers are readers, I tend to pick things up, and things make more sense nowadays than they ever did before. But this is the deck that I use. This is, you can tell it's pretty well loved. It's a little bit stained. There's little bits of crumbs, and there's little folds and wrinkles in some of them. But it is my favorite deck. It is the one that I turn to, because I've always felt, don't get me wrong, I love the tarot. I love getting tarot readings and stuff. And I love the mythology. I love the archetypes. I love symbols and mythology and stories and the way they all fit together. And basically the tarot deck is one giant hero's journey, and I eat that stuff up. But for me, as far as doing readings, I'm a shaman. I talk to the animals talk to me. And so these are the cards I turn to for guidance, for myself and for others. So that is what we're going to do. And I am going to pull 3 cards. And all you have to do is choose a number between 1 and 3. Or you can choose a couple numbers or all 3 if you'd like. And then I will do a reading for each card in order, and whichever card corresponds to the number you chose, that is your specific guidance for the week. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at off camera, I need that. I need a little smudge. I actually let it to smudge my cards, and then I realized how much I needed it as well. There's some for you too. I feel like Mr. Rogers, if Mr. Rogers was a shaman. And here's some smudge for you. Can you say smudge? There we go. Look at that beautiful energy of yours, clearing away all that heaviness and ickiness so that you can be radiant and shine. Yes, you're beautiful. You're perfect because you are. And so I actually am doing the sage to smudge my cards. Since I've been doing readings all day, and they've interacted with all kinds of different energies. So I like to smudge them before I do this video. So, all right. I think I'm finally getting my breath a little bit. How are we all doing? How are you guys doing? It's been kind of a rough Mercury retrograde so far. It just started. I knew it was going to be a pretty intense retrograde when I went through Starbucks last week to get my chai, and I was going through the drive-thru, and I get up there and the barista's all apologetic. I'm so sorry you had to, thank you for your patience and having to wait so long. And she said, for some reason, our computers are only in French today. And I'm like, oh my God, there must be a Mercury retrograde coming, and it's going to be a big one. So it was like when Starbucks computers all switched to French, kind of get an idea of what's coming. So unfortunately, that one barista had taken French class in high school, so she kind of could figure out which buttons to push and all that. So anyway, all right. Take another bite of my sandwich. I love sandwiches. I love egg salad. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle up the cards. Let's see which animal spirit guides are going to come out to walk with us this week. All right. So choose your numbers. Oh, cool. All right. It's also interesting, the threads that weave through all the different clients that come in for readings, because all three of these cards came up today in various readings more than once. And here they are today. So it's interesting to show how connected we all really are. Like, everything we're going through is not for just our own benefit. As we're going through our individual lives, our challenges and triumphs and adventures are helping others going through similar themes of challenges and triumphs. And so we are never alone. We are always connected. I'm going to take one more bite, just one more gobble. I apologize for eating on camera. It's probably kind of rude, but I was pretty hungry. Anyway, so let's do this thing. All right, choose your numbers, 1, 2, or 3. Let me swallow. All right, so, and I never said this, but thank you so much for watching. I am so appreciative and so grateful that you choose to be here, that you choose to spend some time with me, listening to me prattle on about animals and spirits and shamanism, and it is very dear to me, all of this, and I appreciate that you all find it interesting and expanding as well. So thank you for joining me, for supporting me in this. So number 1, our first card of the evening is the Beaver. Bum ba ba da da bum ba bum ba da ba da bum ba bum. Some of you younger people might not understand that theme song, but Beaver is a visionary. So if this is your card, it's asking you to not, like, stop getting caught in just looking at the trees in front of you, and let you open your third eye, look beyond what's ahead of you, like right in front of you, and see what you can do with the resources in front of you. Beaver, where other animals just see a bunch of trees, Beaver sees the trees and then sees the dams and the lodges and the ponds and the rivers that can be built from the trees. And so you have a gift. If this is your card, you have a gift. Able to see, able to bring a vision into this world. Whoops. So, and know that, Beaver is very family oriented. Beaver is very community oriented. But what he does is not It's not that he's selfish, but he doesn't do all of that with thinking about all the good it's going to do in the world, how his ability to change the environment to adopt to him rather than adopting to the environment. They're one of the only other animals besides humans that change their environment to fit them. He's just thinking about how awesome it's going to be to have this dam, to create this pond and build their lodge so they have someplace safe and dry and warm to sleep. But by doing what his heart is calling him to do, by following that vision of his heart, trusting the courage and the guidance of his heart, and just by being himself, doing what he does, everyone in the woodland benefits, right? It's like they create better water sources for all the animals. They help create more bogs and ponds, like reservoir for runoff, to keep things from flooding. And Beaver's greatest accomplishment is not the dam, it's the lodge. You know, the Beaver's lodge is solidly anchored at the bottom of the pond. You know, they create the dam, which creates a pond, and then in the middle of the pond, they create their lodge, and they build it from the ground up. And so it's solidly anchored in the earth. And they build it up until it rises above the water. And so water has tends to symbolize emotions, like the topsy-turvy currents and changes and waves of the world. And so right in the middle of all that topsy-turviness and confusion and different currents and flows, and is this place of stability, this shelter. It's a shelter that is warm and dry and with compassion and love, and safety. That's you. If this is your card, that is, if you're not there yet, know that that is on your horizon, that you are meant to be that Beaver Lodge. You are meant to be that shelter, a place for people to come out of the storm, out of the wet, and get dry, get warm, receive love and compassion, get guidance, get their their bearings, so they can go back out into the world with purpose and direction. So by doing your work, by taking care of yourself, answering your own heart's desires, your own heart's fulfillment, holding that vision, whatever it is, whatever, you know, and it always goes back to, what did you want to be when you grow up? I mean, pretty much everybody has an idea since they're little what they want to do when they grow up, who they want to be when they grow up. And you usually don't have to look any farther than that to find what is your purpose. Why did you choose to be here in this world at this time? And if this is your card, in some manner, whatever that dream is, whatever that desire, that purpose, that mission you came to fulfill, somehow that vision will create a shelter for others, a place where people can come and be safe, be protected. The Beaver Lodge is so protected. Oh, okay, I didn't even think about that. I mean, the Beaver Lodge is a fortress. I mean, it is heavily armored. And it's not easy to break through the layers. And the thing is, what my guys just reminded me is that, you know, they always have an entrance into the lodge, but they also always have a secret exit as well. So not only does the shelter give you safety, it gives you protection, it gives you time. You hear the threat, hear the impending threat, and time to get out of the way, to escape, to get to somewhere else safe. So know that this is interesting. This has never come up before. This is brand new. This is me learning something along with you. There is always a way out. No matter how solid something seems, no matter what world you have built around yourself, you know, there is always a way out. You cannot be trapped, okay? Yeah, interesting. Thank you, guys. So, focus on your personal vision. Focus on your calling. What is it? Who is it you want to be? What is, like, find that one thing. There might be more than one, but find one thing that makes your heart sing. So that even though it's work, it's not work, you know? Because it's so natural to you. It's the most natural thing in the world for you to do. And it doesn't matter how many puzzles or obstacles or challenges are in the way. You're like, whatever. You know, like for me, give me a pencil and a pen and a piece of paper and I am ecstatic. For those that don't know, besides being a shaman, I am also a cartoonist. And that is what I have always, as long, literally, as I can remember, I have wanted to be a cartoonist. Now I am. Besides being a shaman, it's like the cartooning, the comics I draw, I get to translate my own shamanic experiences into comics, into graphic novels. And that's my calling. That is my deepest, greatest joy. When I'm drawing, bombs could go off and I would just be fine. I would be, well, maybe not literally, but you know what I mean. It's like that one thing that you find yourself through by losing yourself in it. That's when you know something is a calling. That's the point where something becomes a vocation rather than a job. Pardon me. So trust your vision. It is a gift, not a curse. And, you know, one thing that I like to do, here's a tool that you can use. You know, like in this quantum holographic universe, all time is simultaneous. Time is an illusion. So there is always a future. There's not only one future from where you are, although, okay, that's going to take me off on a tangent. So right where you are right now, and you have a challenge in front of you, those are the trees. Look beyond the trees, and you can actually connect with yourself, your future self, on the other side of that obstacle in order to get guidance on what do I do on this side of it. Number one, it gives you the motivation and the courage to continue because you know you're going to get through it. You know you've been there. You've been on the other side. And so, and the other thing it does is helps you to relax and surrender, because if you know you're going to get through it, then what's in front of you is just an adventure. It's not going to take you down. It's not going to take you out. You are going to get through it. I used to do that a lot. I learned that actually when I was a kid. I used to be the biggest worrywart in the world, and I used to worry. I'm the oldest of 5. So it was always my self-appointed duty to walk behind everyone and make sure no one else got lost, especially when we were going places like the Minnesota State Fair, which is the biggest state fair in the country. And people everywhere, crowds everywhere. And so there's my mom and 5 of us kids. And so I always walked behind, and I was so afraid someone was going to wander off or get snatched up or something. And what I learned to do is if I could picture myself in my bed that night after getting home, if I could picture myself laying in bed, feel the pillow under my head, the blankets up around me, and I could feel in my heart that I'm safe, everything turned out all right, then I just stopped worrying about it. I didn't have to worry because I touched that future. I basically put a pin there, and I got drawn forward into that future where everything was okay. And so trust your heart, even if you can't see or touch into what your feelings are on the other side of it. I also used to do it when I go to the doctors. I went through a whole number of years going through anxiety attacks and panic attacks and just constant anxiety. So I was going to the doctor a lot because of hypochondria. But every time I went, it's like, oh my God, is this the time I'm going to die? Are they going to take me to the hospital? Am I going to my heart's going to give out? What's going to, And so before I would go to the doctor, I would just stop and I would tune into myself walking out of the doctor's office. And I would tune into my heart. I would tune into that future heart, what my heart was feeling in the future. And if it felt lighter, I knew I was going to be okay. So I might not have known exactly what was going to happen between this point and that point, but I knew no matter what happened, I was going to get through it so I could relax. I could surrender to the process. So trust your vision, trust your heart. Know that you are okay, you are safe. Not only that, by creating your own safety, you are providing safety to others who need it. Okay? Okay, so number 2. If 2 is your number that you chose, you got Armadillo. Armadillo's main medicine is about the armor, right? Boundaries. Now, the one thing I love to point out, a lot of times we're taught, psychic protection, spiritual protection, and we put up shields and wrap ourselves in mirrors or different shields and armor to protect us from whatever's coming at us. And that's all fine and dandy, and there is time and place for that. I'm not going to tell someone, don't shield. If you feel you need to shield up, you shield up. Okay? It's wherever you are at the time. And if you feel you need protection, when I went through a really bad narcissistic relationship. And one of my spirit guides is a dragon, big blue dragon. His name is Mike. And he offered me, he's like, when you need it, I'm here. And he would basically come in and just wrap me in his wings, which were impenetrable. And so if I was feeling vulnerable or feeling attacked, especially energetically from my narcissistic girlfriend, and Mike would come in and just shield me, that protection is useful. But if we carry it out too often, like every single day, we're, for years and years, at some point you have to let down the shields. You can't get to enlightenment when you're shielded. You can't fulfill, I don't even know what the words are anymore, but, enlightenment, fulfillment, self-actualization, all of those things, ascension. You can't do that while you're protecting yourself. Your guidance, your true guidance, will always be forward toward your greatest fulfillment. It will never be to protect yourself from something coming at you. And this is really tricky to talk about, especially with different levels of people that might be watching this. But ultimately, your light is not something to be protected. Your light is to be shown. Armadillo has this armor, but it is natural to who he is. It is part of him. It's not something he put on. When we put on energy shields or energetic armor to protect ourselves, we're actually dimming our own light. Armadillo, what's Armadillo's armor but a denser, higher frequency of hair, right? And it's that higher frequency of hair on the outside that allows the soft underbelly to thrive. And so it's by surrendering into our innocence, into our softness, into our love, that we raise our frequency. And by being in that innocence and shining that light outward, the brighter you shine, the higher frequency you shine, other frequencies simply can't get in. It's science, it's frequency, it's vibrations. And so the only innocence is its own protection. And at some point you have to go beyond the duality of, I need to protect myself, and realizing the non-dual nature of the universe. And that's not to say that you're not going to need to hey, shield up, and take care of yourself. But that's where Armadillo is about boundaries. It's realizing that your greatest protection, and this was one of the greatest realizations I had, and what helped me survive this narcissistic relationship, was there was nothing she could do that could ultimately harm me. Even energetically, she was actually a witch and believed in hexes and all kinds of stuff like that. In fact, she tried hexing me, and I realized no one can have any more power over you than you allow them. If you're in your love and your power, and call in your power animals, your guides, to boost your power, that's what I mean by moving toward your fulfillment. If I was in alignment with my spirit, with Creator, with Goddess, then it might suck for a while, and there might be things I need to wade through to get to the other side. But I realized that alignment was ultimately my protection. That if I were to fight her, if I were to try to resist that energy coming at me, I would just be strengthening that. It's like what you resist persists. Because to fight that energy, I would be lowering my frequency to hit it head on. But if you raise your frequency, this has no place in it. This can't even touch you. Like I said, that's an oversimplification, but your light is your greatest protection. Kyle Cease once said something about your greatest protection is an open heart. Because if you're one with everything, what can harm you? When you're one with the universe, and there's still, there's cars that can run you over, there's things that can fall out of the sky, whatever, and it might physically, you can physically be hurt and die, etc. But ultimately, when you're in alignment, number one, you're not going to go before your time. There is no one and nothing that can make you leave this world until it is your time. No one can predict when that is because it's not written yet. And those who do that, that in itself is a form of hex. Telling someone that they only have 6 months to live, or predicting, you're only going to live to be, 68 or whatever. That's a hex because your thoughts become things. And if someone who believes they're going to die at a certain age, it doesn't mean they're necessarily going to, but there's a better likelihood they will if they believe it. And because your thoughts create your reality, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So no one can tell you what's best for you. No one can tell you what you're here to do. No one can tell you how long you're going to be here. That all comes from you and Creator. If you're not done with what you have to do here, you're not going anywhere. So take care of yourself by all means. And again, like I brought up this, I actually just brought it up today. In fact, Armadillo came up in a reading today and I brought this quote, that Einstein quote that I always totally screw up. But he basically said something about the greatest decision you will ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. Because if you live in a friendly universe where things have purpose, either everything has purpose or nothing does. It's mutually exclusive. And like he said, God does not play dice with the universe. When we live in a friendly universe, everything is going to happen for your best. It's like taking those challenges. Oh, that's a huge tree. That's going to take me an hour to get through. Okay, let's take that hour and we're going to give it our best and we're going to cut it down and build this great big dam. By the way, what did the fish say when it hit the concrete wall? Damn. Anyway, so practice shining your light. Picture your heart like a star and allow that light of your heart to just spread cell by cell through your entire body. And then don't let it stop there. Let that continue to radiate out. Become a star. And when you can get into that alignment, into that, the eye of the storm, paths will open before you. I keep bringing up Joseph Campbell quote about where there were only walls before, you will find doors. Something like that. I never get quotes right, but when you look at the world as friendly, when you see every tree in your path as an opportunity rather than an obstacle. You open your mind to possibilities. You open your mind to opportunities, and solutions will come. And it's that open mind that makes it possible. You can't fit solutions into a closed mind. There's no room for it. You have to open your mind, just like you can't grasp water. The only way you can hold water is with open hands, right? So take the world off your shoulders and, learn to set boundaries. Know that you are protected, but also part of your responsibility in that being, in your own well-being, is to be able to set boundaries, to be able to say no, to be able to say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. No, not today, maybe later. There's a difference between boundaries and walls. Walls crack, walls are unmovable, walls break, walls crumble. Boundaries are flexible. It's hair. It's part of his body. It's flexible. It moves. It's porous. Boundaries are negotiable. Boundaries are not, this is the line and it's there forever. Some days you'll feel like you're on this side of that boundary. Your boundary comes in a little bit closer. You're a little bit more open, available. Other times it extends, 12 feet past your body. Don't anybody come in until I've had my coffee, whatever. Setting those healthy boundaries to give you that space to nurture the softness within you. It's not an either or. You don't have to be either hard or soft. It's both. It's the balance of masculine and feminine, hard and soft, light and dark. They feed each other. They take care of each other. And it's that balance, and becomes the seed. The armor becomes the seed casing that allows the seed inside, the softness, to be nurtured and to germinate before bursting forth into new life. Okay? So that is Armadillo. And I have been talking a lot. I was hoping to get to our guided meditation at the end of this, but we'll see. I'm not sure if we're going to have time. Let me wet my whistle. All right, my friends. Number 3. If 3 was your card, 3 was your number you chose, you got Eagle. This is huge. Eagle is basically great spirit. Eagle is the highest flying bird. It doesn't really even fly. Eagle soars. Eagle is, if Eagle is your card, it's about recognizing that divine light within you, embodying that divinity in physical form. Because when you embody that divinity, you just talk about raising your frequency to the point of being untouchable. An eagle doesn't even, the only time they really flap is if they're landing or taking off, getting up to speed, and then it's just soaring. They don't even, it's effortless. And when they open their wings, what are they doing? Opening their heart. And so when they open their heart, rest their wings on the winds, the breath of Mother Earth carries them effortlessly. This brings in that idea that no matter where you are or how you feel or what you think of yourself right now, you are already whole. Like I said earlier with, with Mr. Rogers, you are perfect. In this moment, right here, right now, you are perfect. There is nothing wrong with you. You are already divine. You are already whole. You are already a high-frequency spiritual being having a human experience. And so it's not so much striving for something that's going to, find our fulfillment, that's going to raise our frequency. It's about dropping those things that hold us down, because once we let go of that ballast, like a hot air balloon, once you drop those sandbags, the balloon just takes off. That's its natural state. I had a vision. Eagle came to me in a vision one time. Let me see if I can remember exactly what he said. It was basically, let others believe they are birds of the field. The sky is your home. And then what I just said, embrace the winds, let the breath of Mother carry you, and you spread your wings by opening your heart. Something similar, but the main thing was, let others believe they are birds of the field. The sky is your home. That's what's natural to you. That's where you belong. And when you drop everything that's holding you down, like that story about, being an eagle who was raised with turkeys, you're raised with turkeys, you start to think you're a turkey, but actually you have all these abilities that are untapped that you don't know about. And by becoming that authentic, pure self, you automatically rise. It's effortless. And from that place of embracing that divinity, you have that perspective. You can see the entire landscape laid out ahead of you. Things are no longer linear. You're not thinking about things like from 2 dimensions where you're like here and, there's this obstacle. Okay, trying to get around it or through it. You're up here where you can see, I just need to go a couple blocks this way. You become the GPS system. Your intuition becomes that GPS system where okay, I just need to hold out here for a couple minutes and then the path's going to clear. Or, okay, I need to go to the grocery store now. I don't know why, but I'm feeling nudged to do that, so I'm going to do that. And then, boom, someone shows up at the grocery store that you haven't talked to in a decade, and they offer you a new job or something. That's the way the universe actually works. That's normal. That's the way life is supposed to be. So start to trust those synchronicities. Start with one of my favorite authors, Martha Beck, talks about the shackles on and the shackles off feeling. And if you've got a decision to make, or you're not sure which way to go, put yourself on that path and see how you feel. If your heart feels heavier, if it feels like the shackles went on, it's like, okay, I guess I can do that. That's a no. That is not the right path for you. But if you put yourself on another path and it feels like your heart just feels a little lighter, that's your frequency rising. That's eagle taking off. It feels like the shackles have come off your wrists. That's a yes. Those feelings are your compass. That's how you know which direction you go. And like the GPS, you don't always get to see what's ahead of you to get to your destination. It only gives you the next, the next direction. Okay, turn left at the next light. Okay, go 3 blocks and then turn right. But by following that, step by step, following your heart, feeling the lightness or the heaviness. And the heaviness is not a punishment. It's not to say, oh, I screwed up. No, it's a direction finder. It's like, okay, that way is not the right place. And you just turn until you feel good, and you follow your bliss, like Joseph Campbell said. That's what that means. You follow the way of least resistance, the way that is natural to you, the way that brings the most levity, the way that feels the most joyful. Even if it's not, woohoo, hallelujah, joyful, just a little bit of lightness versus that little bit of heaviness is all you need to discern which is the proper way for you to go. And when I say the right way or the wrong way, I'm not talking about, the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not, blah, 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 or whatever. I'm talking because there is no right or wrong decisions. When you're guided by your intuition, when you're connected to the great GPS of your spirit, if you make a wrong decision, if you go too far, making a right turn instead of a left or whatever, the universe goes rerouting, and they will bring you back to the main route and get you where you're going. There's no punishment. The universe will guide you. The universe will use whatever's in front of you to get you to where you're going. Whatever resources are in front of you, even the obstacles and the challenges are opportunities to grow. It's like playing a video game, right? There's challenges and you might get killed, but then you come back to life or whatever. But everything you need is there. And even the challenges are what gives you new skills in order to take out the boss to move to the next level. You learn through challenges. And so you know that whatever you need is always there. And that's another thing Eagle brings. Not only that vast, open perspective of seeing the entire landscape, Eagle can also focus on a rabbit miles away. So it's that wide peripheral vision, everything, and then zip in on a rabbit. So focus, widescreen focus, widescreen focus. So if this is your card, then you are, if you're not there yet, you are imminently about to experience yourself on a higher level. You have a deeper awareness of who you truly are, of that pure innocence of who you are as a divine being. Your default setting is joy. Your default setting is love. It's who you are. It's what you are. And so by uncovering all the crap that's been piled on us for eons and eons, not just this lifetime, but that is how we realize that divinity within us and are able to raise our frequency to be able to, get that third dimensional view of everything, to see what actually, like where we can actually go, to see the big screen and see how everything fits together, how it's not this mad world with everything crashing and crunching and in conflict. Like they say, like the astronauts, like almost all the astronauts have said something like, from outer space, from the moon, The earth looks peaceful. There's no fences. There's no lines. It's one planet. We are one people. We are one race. We are one planet. And we are connected to each other. We are all in this together. And as you raise your frequency, even, you're doing your own work, you're not focused on saving the world, all of a sudden, people are looking at you like, wait a minute, you mean we have wings? You mean we can fly? And you inspire others to find their own light. You give people that inspiration. Inspiration means inspirited, that inspired action. You give people that space that they don't normally have in two-dimensional world to see in the three dimensions, to see that everything is possible, that you can rise above it all, and that there is a solution to every situation, and that everything does fit together, that it is all one, that we are all one. So by taking care of yourself, seeing your own well-being, setting your own boundaries, and taking care of you the best you can, that's how you get to this step where you realize who you truly are. And then it becomes, you can't do that without seeing the divinity in everyone else in front of you. So that is the cards for tonight. We're kind of, I always like to leave, I like to keep this to around an hour. I know people's attention span isn't that long, and I tend to prattle on. But I'm feeling it. So if you want to hang out for just a little bit longer, we are going to do a guided meditation. So, because I know that I haven't gotten to it the last couple weeks, I don't think. And so I like to, what I say is that, everything I said tonight, take it with a grain of salt, because if it resonates, if what I say resonates, that's the shackles off. That's that lifting of your spirit. It's because it resonates with you. I am not the authority. Your heart is. So anything that resonates with you, with what I say, give yourself the credit for recognizing that. If it feels like it resonates, like, yes, like this realization, like, boom, mind blown kind of stuff, that's you recognizing yourself. That's you recognizing your own guidance. And so everything that I say is, to your ears, hearsay. It's, secondhand knowledge. It's not a primary documentation. And so what I like to do, because as a shaman, my job is to empower you. I've been trying to get to, if I don't talk too long, I've been doing a guided meditation to take you in to this place where you can talk to whichever animal chose to walk with you this week, or at least one of them, if you chose more than one, so you can get it straight from their mouth, what message they have for you. So, I'm going to play my drum. Oh, it's kind of... It's a little thumpy, but we'll go with it. So I'm just going to play my drum in the background a little bit. So, when you're ready, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it go. Take another breath in, Feel yourself supported by whatever chair, by the floor, bed, couch, whatever you're sitting on or laying on. Feel yourself completely supported. Feel yourself safe in this moment, safe in this space. You are being watched over, protected, and guided. Maybe even find the base of your spine and feel it going down, extending down through the chair, through the floor, wherever you are, into the earth, going as deep as you need it to go. And have other little tendrils branching off of this main taproot, embracing Mother Earth as she embraces you, holding you stable, holding you steady, giving you a foundation, keeping you grounded and whole. And once you're feeling stable, solid, bring your awareness up to your third eye in the middle of your forehead. And just as if it were another one of your eyes, open it up and look out into your imagination. Find yourself having just come through a great forest. The coolness of the trees are at your back. You can hear the birds singing behind you, the coolness. And in front of you stretches a wide, beautiful meadow. The tall grasses waving in the wind. You can feel the breeze on your skin, the warmth of the sun on your face, the buzz of the insects busily going about their business, the various colors of dragonflies darting this way and that way. And in the middle of this meadow is a great flat rock. So go ahead and start walking toward that rock, feeling and hearing the grasses brush and rustle against your legs. Feel it against your fingertips. Smell that beautiful dirt smell wafting up. That sound of the insects. The feel of the sun. And when you get to this giant rock, go ahead, crawl up and find yourself seated very comfortably upon this rock that was just begging for you to sit on it. You can feel the sun-warmed stone beneath you. You can feel the sun on your head, a soft breeze blowing past your face that keeps you at just the most comfortable temperature. And as we sit here on this rock, we are going to invite whichever animal friend, whichever animal spirit has chosen to come with you this week, through your days, through your nights, to guide you, to lend you its strength, its medicine. And so we invite them now. It might come from the sky, from the earth. You might notice that there's a bubbling stream next to the stone that you didn't notice at first. It might come from that stream, the water. And when your animal companion shows up, thank them for joining you. Thank them for carrying you, lifting you with their spirit, with their wisdom, with their guidance. You can pet them, You can kiss them on the nose or the beak, whatever feels comfortable. And now I'm going to be quiet for a minute or two and give you the opportunity to talk to them yourself. So ask this animal companion, what is your message for me? What have you come to help me with in this week? What are we to accomplish together? So ask those questions, listening to my drum as my voice falls silent. Their message might come in words, in thoughts, in images, as a full paragraph download, just suddenly knowing something. Be open to receive it, like your open hands catching the water. And know that if on the off chance no one shows up, or that you don't get a message, that's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. They just have chosen to walk with you silently. Your message is still on the way. They are still with you. It might come in a dream. It might come in a day or two, some revelation out of the blue. You might hear something in a conversation. You might read an article. But know that you are not alone. And they will be with you in a form that you can understand and accept. And the message will come in a way that you can understand and accept. And so it comes time to bid farewell to our animal companions. Just for now, they are still always with you, and you can always return to this place. For them or any other animal guide, if you're wondering about their guidance, their message, what you need to do next, whatever it might be, they are always here to meet you. So say so long for now. Give them a scratch behind the ears, a kiss on the beak, whatever is appropriate. Thank them for being here and allow them to retreat to where they came from. And as they return, it's time for us to return as well. So come back, become aware of the seat you're sitting in, become aware of the room around you, little sounds or feelings. Come back into your body. You can even wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, tap on your legs or your shoulders. Come back fully into your body. And when you are ready, at your own pace and your own time, you can slowly open your eyes and come back fully into this moment. Welcome back, everybody. And thank you for sticking with me on this extra long video tonight. I hope that gave you some answers, some guidance. Like I said, if you didn't get anything tonight, just pay attention. You guys are, these is not just an archetype or a symbol. These are sentient beings. These are guides that are here to help us, to guide you, to watch over you. And they are there to communicate with you. It's a two-way street. They are not better than us. They are not more special than we are. They are just in a different place. Like Eagle, from that higher perspective, they can see more and give us better guidance on where to go, what to do, whatever that is. And so if you didn't get a message, or you didn't see one of the animals, or even if another animal showed up instead of those ones, you're already ahead of the game. Be open to whatever happens. Be open to whatever guidance comes. But always discern, what does that guidance feel to you? Does it feel like shackles off or shackles on? That's your compass. That's your tell. So, alrighty. Thank you, my friends. Again, thank you for sticking with me, those of you who have. If you've come in late, you can rewatch this. I am going to share it to my Facebook page, and I'm also going to upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So if you encounter a different animal this week, or you want to know what's their message, feel free to rewatch this, at least the part, you can fast forward till you see me with my drum, and you can go through that meditation again with whichever animal you want to know about. And it doesn't have to be just animal guides. You can call in your angels, your ancestors, your beloved departed, whoever, and able to see them and actually communicate with them in a form that you can understand. So feel free to rewatch this as many times as you need. On my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, there's over a year's worth of these videos. They don't all have the guided meditation at the end, but if you need some guidance, go ahead and choose one of the videos and then choose a number and see who comes up, because this space that we're in right now as you're watching this is timeless. There's a vitality to it that even if you're watching this a year down the line, the energy is just as vital to you at that point as it is here as I'm saying this. So know that you create the things around you, including this video. You manifested this video, this guidance for you. So give yourself credit for that. And also just the blatant self-promotion part of the video. If you enjoyed this, I hope that you will consider coming to me for a reading, for an individual reading, where you get at least 5 cards to yourself, all focused on you, not this generalized kind of New York Times horoscope kind of thing, but more directed at you and what you definitely need to know or do at the moment. And you can check out my website to connect with me, perchingwolfstudios.net. You can connect with me there. You can find out what other things I do besides readings. I also do ceremonies and coaching and mentorships and classes and soul retrievals, shamanic healing, fairy doctoring. I like saying that because that usually gets people's attentions. Oh my God, what's that? And I'm actually planning on doing some videos coming up explaining those different things, so stay tuned. Yeah, so check out my website. What else? You can follow me on Instagram. And I think that's it for now. And just stay tuned to my website or to my Facebook page for upcoming events. Things have gotten pushed back a little bit, but I have a number of new classes I'm planning, and different videos, like I said, coming up. And I'm also setting my intention to do a podcast very soon. Lots of exciting new things going on. So keep up to date with me. If you need, my job as a shaman is to support the community that supports me. It's a mutual healing, our mutual well-being. And so check out and see what I might be able to help you with. And even if what you need is not listed on my website, or, you can just set up a session to come talk to me. I can talk to my guides, I can talk to your guides, get direction for you, help you through obstacles. Or if you just need a shamanic perspective on things, I'm your guy. I love doing that. It's my joy. And like I said, my job is to empower you. So thank you again for your support, for helping me with this by watching. Feel free to share this. Please share it. Get the word out. This is my business now. I'm full-time. And so if you share it, like it, love it, whatever, that helps me out. Maybe expands my horizons a little bit, to be able to help others. And if you feel so moved, I do gratefully accept donations. And you can find my link for my PayPal in the description of this video. Just donation, whatever feels right to you, if this spoke to you, and if all you have to give is love, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. So, that will do it for tonight. There's a really long stretch of time tonight. Thank you again for watching, for staying with me. If you're interested, Wednesday night at 7, I also do another video. You can join me same place right here. And I do a sacred pipe ceremony where I hold space for people to connect to spirit, not just talk about it like we did tonight, but to give you the chance to connect to your own spirit, hold space to release the world for just a few moments, to breathe, and to send our prayers and our intentions to Great Spirit. So check that out if it sounds interesting to you. 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. And I believe that is it. So thank you again for joining me. Your presence here means the world to me, and I can't overstate how much I appreciate you. So have a wonderful week. I hope to see you soon. Invite your friends. Come back, see me again. I look forward to it. And until that time, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. All right, my friends, have a wonderful week. Let that light shine. Go shining. All right, bye.